Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the cabin. I'm actually down here at the creek with the dogs. They're enjoying themselves, and I drove the UTV. It's actually sitting over there. I don't think you can see it, but anyway, I was looking at the diversity of the trees just in this 50-foot circle. So let me show you. Here we've got a poplar. It's actually a triple, but it's growing. Right here is a black walnut. I've got several of these down here. There's another poplar over there growing. Right behind it is a cedar. Here's a different angle, but here's a cedar right here. And then right behind me, this one right here with the big poison vine growing on it, that is a pine. There's some other species of trees here. Not really sure what they are, so I'm going to ask you all. You may know. But it grows down here mainly in the bottom where it's wet, but it will only grow so tall and then it dies out. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This particular tree right here, I have a whole meadow basically full of them, and they will grow up probably maybe tops 50 feet tall, and then they just die. It's some sort of hardwood and it really burns good. Let me show you some of the others. Now right here in the meadow, this is what will happen. They will grow up so tall and then they just die. I never did get to see the leaves on them. Of course, I was gone for about 20 years. But I have a whole meadow full of these. And I need to come down here and cut them down. But you know, it's just finding the time to do it and making the time to do it actually, with everything else that we've got going on. But it does make a good hardwood, and there's a lot of it that's actually laying down instead of still standing. But these basically are dead standing, and I could fill up a woodshed probably 3 times with what I've got down here. So the one that I actually filled up with that wood that I cut down from the church, which was a box elder, by the way. Anyway, but this is a good hardwood and it's well seasoned, you can tell that. So if you know what that is, send me a comment, because I don't, for the life of me, know what species that is. Let me see if I can walk out here and we can get another look at these. So this one right here has pretty much lost all of its outer bark. You can go to the other ones beside them. They still have the bark on those. That one over there has lost quite a bit of its bark. But I have a whole meadow full of these, and I would like to know what they are if anybody knows. These two healthy beauties behind me right here, these are actually sycamore. That's another species that there's quite a bit of down here in the bottom, as well up in the hollows. I don't think that I've recognized too many growing up away from where there's water. There may be, maybe I just hadn't noticed them before, but through the hollows and down here in the meadow there's a lot of sycamore trees. I do have some hickory nut trees. I have some locust here. I have a few oaks scattered around. Mainly they're on the other side of the road. This was actually all field at one time, and cattle was run on it, so what blew through basically that landed here is what grew, which on this side was a lot of pine, cedar, a lighter wood. So anyway, but I think that the dogs have had their fun down here at the creek, so I'll walk up there. Generally I'll take them up there and give them a biscuit. That's their treat. So we'll ask them if they want to go and get a biscuit. Hey Smokey, you want to go get a biscuit? Huh? You want to? I guess that's a big yes. All right, let's go get a biscuit. Well, wouldn't you know that the part of the week that I reserved to finish filming this video, that the wind would really be kicking outside. I mean, it is getting with it. The trees are just doing one of these numbers right here. So it's a little bit too windy for me to try to talk outside. So I thought we would just go ahead and make it probably a shorter video and do a little bit of talking on the inside. That way we don't have all that wind. You know, the chickens, they've been probably laying eggs now for, I don't know, 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe. And they started out where I just happened to go up one day and I found 5 eggs, right? Well, that's the part of the time that it was still freezing, and so I didn't know how long they'd been there, but I did collect 5 eggs. So then I began to watch the nest, and right now we're getting probably 3 a day, 4 a day sometimes, which is really nice brown eggs right here. Plus the turkey has started laying eggs, which are these right here, which are just a little bit bigger and shaped a little bit differently. But I've got a total of 6 turkey eggs now that I've got, and I'm trying to rotate. I've given my sister some, and Jennifer, she's taken some home, so I'm trying to rotate them. But probably, you know, at the rate that the chickens are laying eggs now, that if I got, let's say, 4 a day, that's 28 a week. But you know, give or take on some days. So let's just say 2 dozen. That's a whole lot more than I can eat. So like I said, that's the reason I've been giving some to my sister and then some to Jennifer. But I have enough eggs, you know, to do me. And sometimes I eat 2 or 3 a day. But anyway, what I was going to say was that, you know, you can't go from like refrigeration to room temp, back to refrigeration, room temp. But they say, and you know, let me know if you're for sure, but they say that the shelf life basically of their natural container is like 3 to 4 months. So I've got eggs. Generally, I'm keeping about 18 at a time now because I was collecting them before I started sharing them. But what I'll do is I'll rotate that stock. And I'll take my sister a half a dozen, give Jennifer a half a dozen when she comes up, you know. And but yeah, the chickens seem to be producing well. I'd like to get a few more layers, so that will be on the first Monday of the month. I don't know if I'll do it in April coming up or wait until May, but I'd like to, like I said, get a few more layers and possibly get another turkey, maybe a male turkey to put in there. But anyway, yeah, well, I'm happy that the time changed and the chickens are laying now, and the pig is doing real well, gaining lots of weight. You know, that's the thing about free ranging or open range, you know, like cattle or regular farming, like, you know, like back in the day. Now, when I was a kid, you know, we had a big section of the woods fenced off where they could actually run, but it was a constant chore to run that fence, and the way that we did it every day. That was my chore after school, to make sure that, you know, nothing would ground it out where, like a limb or something like that, and then weeds that would grow through, you know, and have to knock those down with a weed whacker. But so that you weren't chasing hogs, you know, and we generally had between 20 and 30 of them. And we've raised them 2 ways. We pinned them up and then we let them run, you know. The ones that were pinned up, you know, of course, had a whole lot more weight on them. And that's the reason, you know, because I'm so busy building and doing all of the things here on the homestead, I don't have time, like I said before, to be chasing the pigs. So we're going back to a different way of farming or raising, you know, them. And that's in a pen, giving them all the things that they need. The pig loves his little area to sleep in. He loves, you know, where I've made it to water, and of course the trough. And I think I'm going to have to make some sort of a sideboard on the back of it, because some things, you know, he may root them out with his nose and there's beginning to be a pile of feed behind the trough. So I'll have to do something about, you know, being able to where that fix it to where that food can't get out. But anyway, so everybody's happy. The chickens, you know, they're, like I've said before, they're starting to leave a lot of feed on the ground because they're getting so much. So I may, temper them back a little bit, and then stopping by, and getting some produce, basically that they have prepared and put out there in the store. My grandfather used to do it, you can stop by and ask the produce manager, if you can have some of their scrap feed. So I'll be doing that and bringing that home to the chickens as well as the hog. We've also found a place, a bread store, where we can get day-old bread for both chickens and the hog. That is, I think I mentioned this before, there's 12 crates, and they're like, I don't know, I think we gave $1 a crate for that day-old bread, but that was a lot of bread. So that the hog and the chickens, they haven't been short on carbohydrates that the bread gives them. But anyway, so everybody's happy, and it won't be long. We'll be getting geared up to start the excavation for the, I guess we're going to call it a barn, back there behind the sawmill. And I'm looking forward, now this will probably be, this year into the beginning of next year, because it's going to be, a good sized building. And then a lot of preparation is going to have to be made on the foundation, especially, around the sawmill area, that we're going to move the sawmill down there. So the foundation is going to have to be beefed up to be able to handle, weight of logs being put on them, and as well as the rest of the framework, because, money is a factor. And I would love to pour a solid concrete wall around the whole thing, but that's just not possible. Or it's possible, it's just not feasible on a fixed budget like I am, or fixed income. So I'm going to have to, really beef up the foundation before I start up with the major part of the building, because I want, the foundation is the key, the cornerstone. Is the key to the building lasting a long time. So I want to spend my time on that. And I was talking with the guy. He said what we're going to have to do is go through and strip all the topsoil and everything off of it, because it doesn't pack. But what we have to do is we have to get down to the red clay and the shale that we have in this area, so that the foundation will be sitting on that. What I'm going to do is I'll build a concrete footer across the front. I will pour that area that the sawmill is going to be in. I'm going to use that for storage for lumber that we cut right off the sawmill. So that whole foundation in that middle area is going to have to be really, really solid. The foundation on the other part, the tractor doesn't weigh that much. So I'm going to rig it up where, I can pull the tractor in there as well. And then of course I'm going to have the wood shop or the work area on the other side. Now my idea is I may just leave this whole building open on the inside. But let me know. Give me some comments. If it was going to be your building, what would you choose to do? Of course, like I said, this is back and forth, so the way that I build it will end up, the way that I choose to do it. But what would you do? Leave me some comments down below on, would you build an area for a fireplace, or would you go ahead and let the airflow take care of drying wood? Now, the thing about having a fireplace in the wintertime, it would be nice, to be able to work out there in the building. So you've got a wood shop area that you would have fixed up in there, and then of course, just a place to park the tractor. Well, the tractor, it stays at outside temperatures all the time anyway. But would you section off the workshop area only from everything else? There's an idea. And just put a smaller pad in there to mount some sort of a fireplace, and let the wood, when the other part of the section that you actually stack up and save, would you let that dry with airflow? What I'm trying to do is get away from making a massive area to put a large stove in the large buildings. So yeah, leave me some comments down below. how would you lay this building out? Would you leave it all the way open on the inside? Would you section off just the area that you were going to have your workshop or wood shop, whatever you want to call it, and then leave the main area with the sawmill and the wood supply or storage that we're going to have, and then the area over there that you pull the tractor in? Or would you have 3 sections? Would you section it off for the tractor? See, when you start adding sections, you're talking about more work and more lumber. So that's the kind of feedback that I'm looking for, is what would you do if it was yours? Now, the lumber is not going to cost that much, but it'll take a lot of time and effort to, mill up the lumber. But that's my question, is what would you do if it was your building? Okay, guys, I thought I would talk about a few comments right here. I had a comment about the shelves are fitting right in with the cabin. I really like those open shelves. I don't think that they really cost any more, even though that black pipe was expensive, but I really like the open shelf. Not only look, but I like the shelf you just reach up and grab. You don't have to open the door. Of course, I know that, that hides a lot of stuff, and some people may like that, but I'm actually liking the open shelving. Somebody else commented that they had seen that I had laying chickens, but they never seen me pick the eggs up. Well, just know that the eggs are being gathered. Some things I film, some things that I don't. It's not possible to film everything that everybody wants to see, but yeah, I have to get the eggs down here, so I am picking them up. But yeah, somebody thought that, I may be doing without, I guess. Somebody else commented, they said, hey, those drone shots are phenomenal. I thought you built the hog pen farther from the chicken house because it was hard to tell. No, I built it probably 25 feet away from the chicken house. My idea was, if I was going to raise some animals that I was going to build pens for, that I would keep all the pens close together. That way, I could keep the feed in a general section and be able to, give them all feed. So, because, who knows what I'll end up with next. Someone says, nice retreat that you have created. Are you planning on eventually living there permanently? Well, if you're keeping up with the channel, yes, I'm living here permanently. I've been here since May of last year, so it'll soon be a year that I've been here. Still, I'm not hooked up to power. Still, I'm not hooked up to a water system. But, I haven't had to carry a whole lot of water. My sister doesn't live far away, so it's kind of handy for me to go over there and do things that I need to do. So my water, needs are not that great here. I carry a lot of water for the animals, but, that's not a big deal, especially now that we've got that UTV. Just load it up, hop in it, take off, go over there, and come back and just get right up to the chicken house and the hog pen. So that's really nice to have that, to be able to do that. But because Patrick was teasing me, he says, Dad, you're going to start gaining weight now because you're not walking everywhere, which could happen. But if I start noticing that in the mirror, it'd be time to hide the keys on the UTV and stay in shape. Somebody else commented, it's all coming together slowly but surely. You sure have a little slice of paradise. People that are keeping up with the channel, it seems to me, because I'm here every day, it seems like things are going by so slow. But when you stand back and look at it at the end of the year, there was a whole lot accomplished, So I'm really appreciative of all the help that I've been able to get, on a weekend, or, during the week if somebody was off that wanted to lend a hand, or, family members on a holiday or something like that. Very grateful. But I'll tell you, it's a lot of work, okay? Building a homestead and trying to rely on yourself, but I don't think that there's any better satisfaction. There's not any better weight loss program, because when I left EMS, I was right at 200 pounds, and now I'm down to, my average weight is somewhere between 165 and 175, somewhere in there. I feel a whole lot better, move a whole lot better. So, you know, that's great, working on a homestead because of that type of benefit there. And just being able to set out, you know, at night and listen to, how about those frogs and all the crickets and things like that, the sounds that we get, you know, in the spring and in the summertime. And, you know, just being able to listen to the birds and the animals and an occasional dog bark in the background, or the neighbor's donkey screaming. You've heard that before, I'm sure. But you know, it's really nice being able to have dogs. You know, I really couldn't have dogs when I was working with EMS or any kind of an animal, because I may be gone 24 or 48 hours, and there was just no way to keep up with it. So I said, when I leave, I'm going to go ahead and get a dog and get moved out there where, you know, we can all have room to breathe and things to do to keep our day occupied. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing about, you know, putting out quite a few videos during the week, is you're seeing everything pretty much in real time. And so there's a lot of work that's going into, you know, building a homestead. I've also had another question: is there any plans for a root cellar? Yes, by the way, when he comes and he digs the area for the new barn, he's also going to dig the area for the root cellar. And I think what I'm going to do is put it over here in the corner by my bedroom, outside. As you start down the hill, the bank in there, I think, would make a really nice place for a root cellar. And we'll kind of do it up, you know, the front, the facade, we'll kind of do it up like we've done everything else. We'll make it wonky somehow. Send me some suggestions, by the way, what you would do on the front of your root cellar. Of course, again, however I end up doing it is what I decide to do. But, you know, it's always good to have ideas. So send me some comments, or leave some comments on how you would dress up the front of your root cellar if you were going to build one with natural materials that I have available. Well, guys, I think that I've rambled long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. But, you know, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting this channel. You know, this is really an opportunity that I get to, and you know, whenever Jennifer's here or whenever Patrick's here, a chance to sit down and just basically like talk to you all face to face. You know, Jennifer, she works on the comments. I hardly respond to any comments because, you know, I don't have good internet access out here to be able to reply back and forth. What I get may have taken, you know, quite some time to get to my phone, but you know, to try to do anything and communicate back and forth, it's a little difficult. But Jennifer tries to take care of a lot of the comments. But what I was saying was, this is our opportunity to talk face to face and share with you guys, you know, what's happening behind the scenes, and you know, getting feedback from you guys on different things that we're doing up here to get new ideas that we may not have. You know, of course, we have to decide on something, and we get lots of different ideas, but you know, having those ideas is important, and it gives you more to go on when you're actually building yourself. You may pick from different ideas and use those into your end product that you're making. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Like I said, from the bottom of our heart, we really appreciate the support that you give us on both of our channels. We hope that you guys have a great day. We hope that this new year, springtime, has got everybody pumped up and ready to get out and make it happen in 2022. So anyway, guys, y'all take care. Have a great day. We look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.